Yo, what's good? Today I want to talk about the Samsung Galaxy S10 and whether or not it's the phone for you. So stay tuned. So taking a look at the S10's unboxing experience, when you open it up, you're going to see the device right on top. We're going to set that to the side, and then you're going to have your adaptive fast charger, your USB-C to USB little transfer dongle, as well as a pair of AKG headphones that Samsung sends. They're pretty solid, nothing special though. And then just your USB-C charging cable. And then underneath the lid, you've got your paperwork and your SIM ejection tool. And that's all you get out of the box. So taking a quick look at the specs, on the Galaxy S10, we're rocking the latest and greatest Snapdragon 855 with 8 GB of RAM, 128 GB of storage, with an expandable micro SD card slot of up to an additional 512 megabytes of space. Damn! So the S10 is rocking the latest and greatest specs. So it should equate to a buttery smooth experience, which I've seen is pretty smooth, pretty fast, and fluid throughout the UI. Bixby's still a little iffy, but I'll just turn that off right now because no one really uses Bixby. So taking a look at the display, on the S10, we're rocking a 6.1-inch QHD display screen with that hole punch camera cutout, which is really dope in my opinion. It makes these wallpapers that mask that hole punch cutout all the more better, just because you have that really nice screen to body ratio with the thin bezels, so that's really nice. So when we take a look at the speakers on the S10, it's only coming with that single bottom firing speaker, which is very underwhelming in my opinion. It gets kind of loud, but it just doesn't have any real quality or bass to it. So Samsung is definitely still lacking on the speaker in my opinion. I guess if you want to slack in one area on a smartphone, I guess it would be the speaker, because no one really uses it. Everyone has Bluetooth headphones nowadays. It's 2019. Come on. But taking a look at the battery, on the S10, it's rocking a 3600 milliamp battery, which is pretty solid. And it definitely gets you almost a full day's use. But if you're a heavy user, you're definitely probably going to get around a little over half a day. That's what I'm seeing right now, but I definitely am downloading a lot of stuff and using the hell out of it. So my usage will vary from yours. Just keep that in mind. So out of the box, the S10 is rocking Android 9.0 with Samsung's One UI skin over top, which is a solid step in the right direction in my opinion. So diving into One UI, you can see that there's a materialistic design incorporated throughout, which is really nice, and there's just really everything is rounded, which is really nice. I like that. Rounded corners everywhere, rounded text bubbles, rounded toggles, everything's just really nice and neat in my opinion. But yeah, One UI is definitely clean. It's a solid UI and I'm really digging it right now. So with security on the S10, you get your usual PIN, password, and pattern unlocks, but then you also get face unlock, which has been reported that people have been able to use pictures to unlock it of that person. So I don't know if that's the most secure, but then you also have, which is probably a big selling point of this year's S10, is that built-in ultrasonic fingerprint screen. But a big security feature on the S10 is a new built-in ultrasonic fingerprint reader underneath, which is pretty dope in my opinion. One of the biggest selling points on any phone, period, is the camera. People are not going to buy a phone if it doesn't take good pictures. And on the S10, it comes with a solid camera, I must say, on the front and the back. When we take a look at the rear cameras, you've got a wide-angle lens, an ultra-wide-angle lens, and a telephoto lens. So jumping into the camera application, you can see there's a built-in Instagram tab now, so you can easily snap a pic and then it'll transfer it straight over to Instagram, so you can post quicker, which is really good for those Instagram fanatics out there. You know who you are. Then you have your food tab to make your foods look better, panorama to get those nice wide panoramic shots, with your pro mode where you can adjust your white balance and such. Then you have live focus, with a couple of effects that I don't really think I'll be using, but they're pretty solid to have. Then you got your usual photo tab, video tab. You have super slow-mo, which kind of zooms in a little bit, so you got to be a little weary when you're trying to shoot super slow-mo in your shots. But that's a solid option. And then just regular slow motion, which is kind of a wider lens. And then hyperlapse, which you can just set the phone down and take a nice hyperlapse video if you want to do that. So another new feature on the S10's camera application is definitely the scene optimizer. So with the scene optimizer, it is the little circular toggle right here on the bottom, and toggling that on, the camera app will suggest optimizations for the type of scene that you're shooting, whether it's just an indoor shot or maybe a selfie or some food. It will analyze that and just optimize it for the best shot. It'll also give you recommendations shown here on the angle to get the best shot, so that's pretty dope. It's not always on the money, honestly. It's kind of hit or miss, but I mean, it's a solid option to have if you're new to photography. But yeah, overall the camera application is pretty solid. As long as you turn off beauty mode. I'm not a big fan of this whole beauty mode that Samsung puts into the camera. It kind of just makes selfies look weird. So I just turn that off by default. And then the camera takes really solid photos. So yeah, the S10 is pretty solid. It's a solid phone. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep using it as my daily driver though. I'm kind of missing my Pixel 3, not going to lie. But then you have the Note 10 coming out right around the corner in August. So I'm looking forward to that. I've always been a bigger fan of the Notes than the S. That's going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video, it'd be much appreciated if you hit that like and subscribe down below. Also hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I come out with new videos. I also go live on Twitch every day at twitch.tv/LFAHarris. I'm the first light skin that pops up. You can't miss it. If you have any questions, leave those down below in the comments box and I'll get back to you pretty quickly. But with that, I'll catch you on the next one.